Have you ever noticed the moment you stop checking who viewed your story, your mind slowly becomes quieter? Noir noticed that too. At first, she checked every few minutes. Who saw it? Who skipped it? Why didn't they watch? Why did they leave so quickly? It felt automatic, almost impossible not to check. She thought she was just curious, but psychology tells a different story. Sometimes, we're not checking because we care about the story. We're checking because we're searching for reassurance. And the strange part? The more often you check, the less secure you usually feel. Let's explore why. Because your brain changes the moment you stop checking who viewed your story, and the science behind it might surprise you. The first reason is something psychologists call variable reward. Imagine pulling the lever on a slot machine. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Because the reward is unpredictable, your brain keeps coming back. Story views work in a similar way. Every refresh creates a tiny moment of anticipation. Maybe they finally watched. Maybe your crush viewed it. Maybe someone unexpected did. Your brain releases dopamine, not because of the result, but because of the possibility. That's why checking feels so addictive. You're not chasing information. You're chasing uncertainty. Noir realized she wasn't excited about the viewers. She was addicted to wondering who might appear next. And once she saw that, the habit became easier to question. The second reason is social validation. Humans naturally want acceptance. Thousands of years ago, belonging to a group meant survival. Being ignored could be dangerous. Our brains still carry parts of that wiring today. When someone important watches your story, it can feel like approval. When they don't, your brain sometimes interprets it as rejection, even if they simply weren't online. Noir once spent an entire evening wondering why one person hadn't viewed her story. The next day, she discovered they had been busy all day. Nothing was wrong, but her mind had already created a story. That's what our brains often do. When information is missing, they fill in the blanks, usually with the worst possibility. The third reason is something called the spotlight effect. Psychologists discovered that we often believe people notice us far more than they actually do. We think everyone is paying attention, judging, comparing, remembering every little thing we post, but most people are thinking about themselves, just like you are. They're worrying about their own messages, their own appearance, their own problems. Noir slowly realized that the audience she imagined didn't really exist. Most viewers tapped through her story in just a few seconds, not because they disliked her, because they were simply scrolling. That realization felt strangely freeing, because if people aren't thinking about you as much as you imagine, you don't have to keep performing for them. The fourth reason might be the most important. Every time you stop checking, you teach your brain something new. Nothing bad happened. You survived. No anxiety, no disaster, no hidden catastrophe. Psychologists call this exposure. When you resist a habit, your brain slowly learns that it doesn't actually need it. At first, Noir felt uncomfortable. Her hand kept reaching for her phone. She wanted to know. She wanted certainty. But every time she stopped herself, the urge became slightly weaker. Not immediately, but gradually. And something unexpected happened. She started paying more attention to the people in front of her, instead of the people behind a screen. She laughed more, thought less, compared herself less, and slept better, because her attention was finally returning to her own life. Here's the interesting part. Checking who viewed your story isn't really about stories. It's about uncertainty, validation, fear of being forgotten, the desire to feel seen. None of those emotions make you weak. They make you human. But the moment you become aware of them, they stop controlling you quite as much. Noir didn't become happier because more people viewed her stories. She became happier because she stopped measuring her worth through them. And psychology teaches us something similar, again and again. Attention is valuable. Where you place it shapes your emotions, shapes your habits, and eventually shapes your life. So maybe the next time you post something, leave your phone alone for a while. Go for a walk, read a book, talk to someone. Live the moment instead of waiting for confirmation that it mattered. So, pause for a second. If you couldn't see who viewed your story, would you still enjoy sharing it? Your answer might reveal more than you expect. Stay curious and follow the Noir Psyche for more psychology, human behavior, emotional intelligence, and the hidden patterns shaping your life.